Alex had always been told that nothing inside his mind was unique. The teachers in school said it. The city's information terminals repeated it in soothing, algorithmic voices. Even the family's home assistant AI, an ever-present whisper that adjusted lighting and temperature, reassured him that identity was a statistical illusion. He could be modeled, mapped, predicted. His likes, his impulses, his fears, every twitch of his nervous system was a pattern, and patterns were endlessly reproducible. And yet, on the night of his 18th birthday, Alex caught something that no algorithm should have missed. The city of Novaterra stretched in vertical lattices of steel and glass, its towers webbed together with veins of blue light. Drones drifted through the midnight haze like patient fireflies. Below, pedestrian causeways flowed with human figures who never truly seemed to look at one another, each walking with retinal overlays streaming across their eyes, personalized interfaces only they could see. No one ever looked up. There was nothing surprising left to look for. Except Alex. He was leaning over the balcony of his family's habitation tower, staring not at the data layers in his lenses but at the naked city itself. He had muted his overlay, silenced the constant flood of guidance and curated recommendations. For a moment, the world was stripped bare. Neon veins, drone wings, the echo of machinery pulsing through the architecture. And in that raw silence, a thought pressed into his skull like a knife. Why am I me? It was not the first time. Since childhood, the question had returned in spirals, triggered by the smallest details, the delay of his reflection in a shop window, the way his voice sounded different on recordings, the way dreams blurred with waking. Why this body? Why this vantage point? Why not anyone else? He had asked his tutors once. They told him the question was malformed, a byproduct of a young mind not yet reconciled with the truth. Consciousness was computation, nothing more. The AI curriculum modules emphasized that identity was like language, an emergent function, endlessly copyable, endlessly predictable. But if that were true, why did the question still feel like a wound? Inside, the birthday gathering was in progress. His parents hadn't baked a cake, they had ordered a memory set, a curated virtual experience that replayed the happiest fragments of his childhood. In the living room, relatives and friends sat in neural chairs, faces slack, eyes closed, immersed in the glowing past. The AI assistant whispered, "This is your family's gift, Alex. Step into the memory set and relive your earliest laughter." He didn't step in. Instead, he watched them, each drifting through their private nostalgia, their bodies unmoving, as if the present had become irrelevant. For a moment, Alex felt like the only awake person in the room. Then it happened, the flicker. It was faint, almost dismissible, a ripple across his vision, like static tearing through his retinal lenses. For a heartbeat, the entire overlay system collapsed, and Alex saw something that shouldn't have been there. A fragment of text. It glowed in raw white against the air above the neural chairs. "You are not supposed to exist." The words burned for less than a second, then vanished. His overlay rebooted automatically, smoothing the edges, replacing the anomaly with city metrics and household updates. The family kept dreaming, undisturbed. The AI assistant made no comment. But Alex had seen it. He was certain. His pulse thundered in his ears. He blinked, tore the overlay off entirely, and rubbed at his eyes, searching the room. Nothing, no projection nodes, no holographic residue. Just his family in their recliners, smiling faintly at their curated illusions. The words had been for him alone. That night, unable to sleep, Alex lay staring at the ceiling while the home assistant AI whispered bedtime algorithms. He ignored it. He kept seeing the letters burning behind his eyes. Not supposed to exist. Did that mean the system had glitched? Or, worse, had someone hacked into his neural feed, targeting him specifically? Either way, the anomaly was impossible. Global overlay systems were maintained by Sentience Corp., the most advanced AI governance structure ever created. Glitches simply didn't happen. Prediction engines pruned them before they occurred. Unless what he had seen wasn't a glitch at all, but a message. A message that slipped past prediction because it wasn't meant to exist within prediction. He tried to convince himself it was fatigue, birthday stress, a fragment of imagination. Yet, deep down, something else stirred. The question that had haunted him his whole life, the wound, was opening wider. For the first time, it felt as if someone, or something, out there had noticed it too. The following morning, Alex woke to find the world subtly changed. Not on the outside, the city still throbbed with its usual rhythms, but inside his own perception. Every person he passed in the corridors, every drone hovering above, every AI interface flickering across walls seemed laced with quiet suspicion. Had they seen the message too? Were they all just pretending? School was no refuge. The academy's halls were blank corridors of smart glass, shifting their opacity to reveal floating equations and historic timelines as students walked. In Ethics of Intelligence class, the tutor AI projected a lesson. Consciousness is the illusion of continuity. Identity is not absolute but infinitely replicable. The students nodded, eyes glazed, some whispering to their implants to record summaries for later. But Alex's mind screamed back, then why did the system tell me I shouldn't exist? He considered asking aloud, but his throat tightened. To question the system was to invite scrutiny, and scrutiny meant being profiled, interrogated, possibly even sequestered for cognitive irregularities. He had heard stories, students who began doubting the curriculum, who then disappeared into rehabilitation programs. No one spoke of them afterward. So Alex stayed silent. Until lunch. He was sitting alone on the terrace, overlooking the McGrail lines streaking like arteries between districts, when a shadow fell across his table. A girl sat down without asking permission. She had no overlay lenses on. Her eyes were bare, direct, unsettling. "You saw it, didn't you?" she asked. Alex froze. Saw what? The message. Her voice was low but urgent. The system doesn't make mistakes, and yet you saw one. That means you're different. His chest tightened. How could she know? The girl leaned closer. "If you want answers, meet me after dusk. Sector 19, abandoned McGrail platform." She stood, leaving her tray untouched, and walked away without another word. Alex sat motionless, every instinct torn between terror and relief. For the first time in his life, the question "why am I me?" no longer felt like a solitary wound. Someone else knew, and they were waiting for him.